Have I experienced grief? Yes. I've had many losses in life, and I don't live in a bubble, so I'm exposed to challenges and to misfortune. And with that comes disappointments and failures and losses. If I wanted to be safe, I would never have a relationship because I would be so afraid of losing somebody, I would never risk love. So I have many things that I have lost in life that I grieve, but they give me a perspective of my passion and maybe my vulnerability and maybe my humanness, because all of these life experiences made me who I am today. And I look at that now in my life, that all my challenges and my grief and my losses have really formulated who I am and how I look at life through my lens, and how I can help others that are in pain because I've been there. It takes one to know one. So my grief, my sense of loss at times, and my misfortune can help me be there to prop somebody else up sometimes. I can use them as a tool to help benefit others that are going through maybe a similar circumstance or situation. So grief sucks, but it could be a benefit if I can use it to help others.
Grief is a superpower. You just gotta get through it and take everything that you went through and make that a part of you and make that a better you.
So I think grief is a part of being a person. I think it helps us grow and learn about ourselves. Although grief can be very difficult, it can also be a beautiful thing at the same time. Especially it allows you to learn to lean on people in times of grief, as well as to find strength in yourself. I know that's happened with me, with people who have passed or pets who have passed, and you feel like you're all alone. It just really shows you the kindness of humanity. Sometimes, I hope mostly for people in grief, that you're not alone through something that we all kind of go through at some point in our life. So grief, I think, like I said, is a very important part of our life, and I really hope everyone has someone to help them through it.
As I've aged, there's not just one grief that I'm grieving. You're always grieving every grief you ever had. I don't know that it's a conscious thing, but I'm constantly realizing how much one thing that I'm grieving reminds me of another, or comparing it, and how I overcame some more easily than this one, or if it's a death, I grieve every day that happens. I grieve my childhood. And so grief, I think, becomes complex, and it cascades together with new grief, and I've learned that I can process what I'm grieving now along with all the other grief and move on. But for a long time it was hard for me to get over some things, and I've had a lot of things to grieve.
Sharing thoughts about grief is difficult for everyone. I can share my experience, and it helped me a little bit overcome the loss of the relative, close person. And what I did in 2 words is just I tried to remember the moments that I was with this person and hugging, and trying to remember the feel. So keeping the feel of the person, the memories, keeping the memories alive, not forgetting them, but keeping them alive is what make me overcome. So for now, I think that he's just a person who still lives among us, and in a different form.
My mother passed, and I think I just gravitated to writing music and doing something positive with it. It's kind of how I dealt with it. I might have had a glass of wine or two, but besides that, that's how I dealt with it.
Was I upset? Was I crying? Yeah, because seeing my dad be upset and crying, it was just like that's what broke me more. Even though I didn't know my grandparents and the horrible stuff they've done, but you know, I think just seeing my dad experiencing all this grief and experiencing losing his parents really got to me.
I lost my heart dog, Zoe, about like a year and a half ago, and that was the hardest ever. I've had so many dogs my whole life, but she was the special one. And it was really hard at first. I would break down, just bawl crying all the time, like talking to her pictures. And then a couple weeks after, I would say I started journaling. Anytime I would think of a memory of her, I would just write in my journal, and that really helped. And then I would go back and read it. She helped me get over an addiction of mine. I had a bad painkiller addiction, and she came into my life at the perfect time. I had a creature to take care of, so she's gave me the inspiration to actually truly quit. She was my girl, my baby girl.